Hello, everybody. We are here. We made it. We are 100% all here doing our live broadcast. This is basically the very, very first one. Let me make just a tiny little adjustment. There we go. This is basically the first one. I've tested it a lot. I've done it on my bicycle. I've done it here. My whole big plan was that I would do these live shots and live streams whenever I'm out, riding my bike. And it would be, fun because, we could go ahead and look at the beautiful autumn leaves and see the scenery. We could chit chat a little bit. That was the plan. And of course, fall and autumn comes and it starts getting cold. So I'm thinking, that just may not be such a great idea after all. So we've gone inside, which is okay with me if it's okay with you. I think next springtime we will definitely go out and do it on the road because it couldn't be better. Anyway, welcome, 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 welcome to what I'm calling my first live video at Aging Strong. And I've done a lot of recorded videos, but this is going to be the first live video. And, we learn as we go. Everybody learns as we go. Even when we exercise, we learn as we go. So what I want to do today is, and this is going to be shorter than most, I would think, but I just want to get to the point. I just want to get it rolling, you might say, see how things go. If you have responses, if you have things you want to say, you can put them in the chat. I'll respond to everything. That's what it's all about. We are a family here. I want to say that we are here to support each other, to make allow ourselves to have the best health span we can possibly have with what we have to work with. Now, listen, none of us are going to be here forever, so the lifespan that you've got going, go for it. But let's make sure that during those years we've got, let's make the best of it. And one way to do that is to be fit enough to do things that we really want to do. And that's a simple reason why the RBX 60 is so great. And then on top of that is Aging Strong, which is more about living long and living well. And so today, with that little bit of an introduction, what I want to do is talk a little bit more about 5DX60, what that's all about, and what I really have been doing a lot of, which you may or may not know if you follow the chit chats and if you follow the videos, is I've been testing creatine, and it has been a big surprise. It really has. An unpleasant surprise. I really started this test not having any idea if anything would come out of it. I mean, after all, I've never been one of those who, are chasing, big muscles. I'd like to think that I had an okay physique and all that, but I wasn't really into the big muscle stuff. And I always associated with that as kind of folks who were into the big muscles. So for aesthetic reasons, as they say. So I never really got interested in that. And plus the fact, as far as supplements go and so forth, I try to profess eat well, sleep well, and do all the other things that we're supposed to do them right. But with all that said, the 5DX60 is the baseline. It is the baseline. So if you do the baseline, you're going to be in good shape. And that's the whole point of it all. And it was, devised years and years ago by William Warbon for that very reason, except this was for pilots who needed to stay fit, but they also ended up in remote areas. Now, to make a long story short, he was hired by the Canadian government, by the Royal Canadian Air Force, to find an exercise program that these pilots could do in order to stay fit, because they fly in a very constrained cabins, and they may go to some place, and if it's the Royal Canadian Air Force flying, they're going all over Canada, which is the second largest country in the world. So they have all these remote places, but they have to stay in shape. So to make it's become a long story, even try to make it a little bit shorter. He devised this program so they could do it quickly. They could do it with limited space, and it would work all the necessary parts of the body in order to stay healthy and in physically good condition. So those 5 exercises are right here. This is what I talk about a lot. And bring in some other things like creatine, which I'll talk about more. I've already talked about but I'll talk about more probably at a later time. But anyway, this is the 5BX60 exercises, the 5 exercises that you do in 11 minutes. And there's even a reason why it's at 11 minutes. You do it for 11 minutes. You start with your toe touches and then a body stretch. Now, once I maybe reorganize what we've got right now, I can actually have space to do it. But for right now, we'll have to use the pictures and the descriptions. And this is also up on the website, rbx60.com. So you can also go up there to find out a little bit more about what's going on. So you finish the toe touches, and if any of you have not started, don't be intimidated, because we're not asking you, or not suggesting or recommending that you try to knock off 20 of these toe touches or whatever it might be. Just start in small chunks, and there's a whole chart over at the 5bx60.com website that breaks down these entry levels that you might be at. So you do the toe touches, which is a form of stretching exercise, and it helps with flexibility. It involves bending forward and touching your toes and performing a stretch, and it benefits and improves flexibility. It reduces stiffness and enhances mobility and decreases the risk of falls. All right, that is what the toe touches are. Now the next one is the core crunch. Okay, and I know one thing I forgot, which I learned for next time, is you should have some water around. Otherwise you get a little bit dry, but I could run over there and probably grab one. 1 minute as I run over and grab a water. Just 1 minute here. I shall return very quickly. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, that's better. Better to not get too dry mouth as we're doing this. Then in order, these are all designed to go in a certain order. We have the core exercise, which in the old days was the sit-ups. It was found that that wasn't always good for everybody, especially in their neck region. So it was the core part of it is the crunch, getting the crunch. So we do the crunch. You see the picture of going halfway up while laying down, and it engages the abdominal muscles through the sit-up, through the modified version like seated crunches for safer strengthening. And it benefits the core and the muscles and improves posture and balance. It's a great exercise. Then we do the Superman pose. Great pose, because it sort of looks like that in the days that I was infatuated by Superman, so I just had to leave that in the list. But it's a great name. It's a Superman pose. It pretty much comes from yoga, but it's a it's great for supporting the spinal health, reduces back pain, enhances posture, and improves overall mobility. So that is what the Superman pose does. And then for upper body, well, it's the push-ups, and the push-ups are one of the greatest exercises, if not the best exercise for doing so much for our body and giving, and it builds upper body strength, preserves muscle mass, and then supports daily functional activities. And then finally, we have the cardio section, and the cardio is the fun part. It basically can be whatever you love doing. It can be a cardio as long as you're active doing it. So at one time was running, jogging. Then as time went on, I started to enjoy cycling. So these are movement, cardio exercises. And the best thing for you to do is find something you love doing. Dance, tango, kickball, pickleball, those kind of sports that get the old cardio going. So that is the entire program. And if you do that on a regular basis, do it every day, because this was devised and designed as a core part of it is doing it every day, doing it consistently. So with all that said, I'm. This is what our program is. I hope you watch it, subscribe to it. And we're going to do these live streams. It's scheduled for every Wednesday, but we had to work out a couple of issues. So instead of doing Wednesday, went ahead today on a Thursday. But normally it'll be Wednesday. I'll put out a notification so you see that it's coming, and we'll get together every Wednesday. Thanks for being here, and subscribe. See you later.